Hey, what's up guys? Your average wargamer is back with another video of World of Warships. And today I am going to be featuring Tier 10 Tech 3 Russian cruiser, the Petropavlovsk. Now, the Petropavlovsk I am featuring here is having the unique upgrade, or you can call it legendary upgrade. And honestly, Petropavlovsk was already pretty much ridiculous, and with this introduction of the unique upgrade that gives minus 10% dispersion to this main battery guns that it has right now, well, Petropavlovsk becomes pretty insane. And honestly, if you put the Kuznetsov on the Petropavlovsk, well, it becomes hilariously broken. The armor profile of the Petropavlovsk is pretty insane. Like, we all know that how easy, quoting easy, because it's actually not easy to citadel the Petropavlovsk, even though they have, slightly lift up the hull from the water, but it's still not enough. And Petropavlovsk is still one of the tankiest ship. And obviously another thing that Petropavlovsk is having that radar, and that radar is not bad at all. I mean, it's a 20 seconds of duration. Like, as you can able to see, it's almost 20 seconds of duration with my build. But I mean, it's gonna be pretty much enough to basically do like couple of volleys on any ship right now. Now Petropavlovsk obviously not having the best of the dispersion, and that's one of the things that I usually complain initially. But now with this legendary mod that it has, well, that has kind of changed. And now dispersion with this the buff that it gets, well, it becomes like a pocket Stalingrad. And I mean, Stalingrad is obviously a very strong cruiser, but it does have some vulnerability, especially that the hull is not the best and it's sort of weak. But the Petropavlovsk hull is a weird, different armor scheme, unlike Stalingrad, and it also does not have those long duration fires that Stalingrad suffers. And that basically makes Petropavlovsk pretty much like the most tankiest cruiser in the game, and obviously feared by so many opponents because of this sheer firepower. You can able to clearly see, well, I think beats with the Musashi, but again, doing consistent damage, 15,000, getting one citadel. I did that with the Nevsky, and I'm also doing it with Amalfi. And obviously, Amalfi, he's keep shooting broadside. Somehow managed to disengage, which is, well, lucky for him. But obviously, he has taken quite a bit of damage. And definitely, Petropavlovsk really shines because it can tank really well. The hull is very tanky. 40mm upper belt, the deck, and obviously very small superstructure makes Petropavlovsk really good and strong cruiser in the game. Probably the strongest cruiser in the game, and obviously a ship that gets banned quite a bit in clan battles. Especially right now, the clan battles are going on, and Petropavlovsk is banned because it's simply an insane cruiser. The penetration of Petropavlovsk is basically compared to like 380mm guns, and you can able to see that dispersion gets pretty juicy, and I got a first blood. And guess what happens? The consumables that the Petropavlovsk misses, like because of this 10% accuracy buff that it gets, well, now you actually get all of those consumables. So Kuznetsov basically mitigate quite a bit of the nerf that the legendary mod does, just to basically make sure that it does not make Petropavlovsk a bit too much. But well, here you can able to see you have now basically 3 heals after using 1 heal, obviously, which basically makes Petropavlovsk the original state of the art, having all the consumables in its disposal, but having now 10% buff with the dispersion. And I mean, that basically makes Petropavlovsk seriously a very tough ship to handle. Like, it's gonna be really hard to deal with Petropavlovsk, and I'm very much really pushing right now, in like taking on against Schlieffen, you can clearly able to see, and doing great damage. And this is the thing that I really love about the Petro, that you can just keep shooting and can deal great damage with these guns, because even though they are 220mm guns, one more thing about the legendary mod is you also get the alpha damage buff, which basically makes the armor piercing shells of 220mm guns of Petro up to 7300 alpha damage. And you know how, it basically compares with Novosibirsk, its tier 11 counterpart, and it also has the same alpha damage and better penetration. But honestly, Petropavlovsk does not really need like more penetration. It would be better if it gets better penetration, but I mean, this penetration is seriously still enough to even like Citadel battleships. Like, that's so easy, and that's what makes Petropavlovsk extremely consistent. You can able to see at these ranges around 13 kilometers, it basically makes life really hard for any ship to deal with. Like, it's really going to be hard. I mean, Schlieffen is constantly running away, and I'm keep trying to farm the Schlieffen using the hits on the superstructure, and it's pretty simple in that regard. Again, you can able to see that the fire damage of that the Petro is taking is only under 25 seconds, and that's not a big issue, even though the Nevsky is just kind of annoying here. But I'm also annoying, as you can able to see. People just keep running away. I'm just not able to get the cap since the Nevsky just keep shooting me from, I think, the range mod, like 22-kilometer range mod Nevsky. Okay, sure. But lucky enough, I just able to dodge the gearing torpedoes, which I was not expecting here. If I would have eaten a couple of torpedoes, that would be pretty much devastating. But somehow I was lucky and able to survive. And now I am trying to safely get the cap, because, well, the Nevsky actually have resetted me quite a bit of time. But I know that hopefully this time I will be able to get the cap, since the Republic is also pushing into sea with Z42 helping me as well. That's good. But as you can able to see, there's someone on the B cap and the gearing got spotted. What that means is, well, 12.4 kilometer concealment of Petro does really help, and you can clearly able to see why I'm saying this. And okay, what happened is that the Petropavlovsk able to do penetration damage to that gearing, and that actually dealt like 5,000 damage in just one salvo, and he's dead. I mean, another perk of having Petropavlovsk guns, because if you get penetration damage, it will be full. And I mean, the penetration damage of the Petro is 7,334. So I mean, it's not only get overpens on cruisers having a higher caliber guns, but Petropavlovsk does not comes in because it's only 220mm gun. So the penetration damage you will get on DDS, it will not going to be over penetration damage, and you can just do a lot of damage to these poor destroyers, which basically is another strength of having a unique upgrade. And now actually what happened is the Cyclone kicked in, and obviously what that means is you might have even more chance to basically play aggressive. You have radar, so you can actually able to catch anyone off guard in 12-kilometer aura. That's also a very good advantage in Cyclone. And obviously there is a Schroeder having hydro turned on. I don't want to push in right now because there are a couple of ships, so I have to keep that in mind. So I've decided, well, let's just go towards the A gear and maybe able to do something out there, because if I push to the Schroeder and he's bowing, I mean, it's gonna be really tough. And that's the problem for the Petro in general. Like, if the cruiser or any ship that is bowing, well, chances are you will only able to see his face, and the DPM, the guns, the reload time is definitely not on par. It's only 12 seconds, so it's really not good, honestly. And no matter how much alpha damage you have with 220mm guns, the problem is that if anyone forces you, or the enemy ship is basically bowing, well, there's nothing you can able to do. And that's one of the problems of, Petrov, and kind of a weakness that even though you might have a tanky hull at that time, it actually won't help much. So these are the things that one have to keep things in mind. And at the moment, as you can able to see in the game, our team is kind of throwing quite a lot of ships. And well, there is a shorter, and look at the dispersion. Oh boy, this dispersion is like pinpoint accurate. It's funny, but yeah. I mean, this is what like close range dispersion thing that you typically get for the Petro. But obviously, the dispersion 10% buff is seriously pretty much clearly seen here, and it does so well. 3 kills, 94,000 damage. I also got the first blood, you know that, so extra heals, which helps a lot. And you still have Kuznetsov left. So I mean, it's pretty funny. Like you can put Kuznetsov on Petro, and whatever the ship that it provides, like being overpowered, honestly, in my opinion, well, it becomes even more absurd. So I'm trying to look for the North Carolina or Thunder. Maybe I might able to take some pot shots on him. And I'm thinking that maybe I might be able to get him on radar, since I have the radar ready. And once I radar him, I can able to clearly see his ship. And that's what exactly happened. Now, I'm not sure if I can able to Citadel Thunder at that, but he's angled, so. But look, oh my goodness. 13k damage with 7 penetrations. That is something. This almost felt that I shot with the guns like Stalingrad, but it's Petro guns. And since, even though he's not broadsiding, I'm still able to do penetration damage, and that guy, well, now he's broadsiding, so I think hopefully he'll be able to die, and he is actually dead. So, like, constantly pushing in Petropavlovsk, dealing against Thunder, against quite a lot of ships out there, and then they're just dying. And the damage output is, like, on a broadside ship, is pretty juicy, and that's one of the very good things about the Petro. And honestly, if you haven't bought the dispersion legendary mod thingy, that will be placed on the 6th slot. If you buy one, well, you should buy one, because it is that strong and probably one of the best investment for the legendary mod if you like to play Petropavlovsk. It's simply the beast of an upgrade, and it's definitely worth it. Definitely gonna recommend you here to do what you possibly able to do here. And I thought that we are winning in this game because we have camps and we have quite a bit of things out there, but again, I think for some reason our North Carolina decided to lose against enemy team North Carolina, and he is kind of out there, and I mean that really sucks. Right now I only have 1 radar left because I used 3 radars, so this is one of the things. Obviously, short duration radar of Petro, it's not good. You can only able to get 2 volleys on destroyers in general, and that's probably it. Otherwise, obviously, radar is still really strong, no matter how much long or short duration it can be. And in Petro, it becomes even more obscene, obviously. In this case, well, you can able to see I'm not going to push North Carolina. It's really not worth it. There is Venezia and Nevsky that I have to deal with. And obviously, the Cyclone now going down, which basically means I might be able to get spotted. Or somehow, I might be able to do something against the Venezia and Nevsky. And, well, I was not expecting that I got spotted by whom, but then I realized that North Carolina, the enemy North Carolina, actually slightly spotted me, and I accidentally popped the radar, thinking that I might caught the Venezia or Nevsky off guard here, but actually that's not the case. And so that's why I have to push towards the sea, and now I got spotted, so I think that's the North Carolina again. And look at the dispersion, long range dispersion, Petropavlovsk, that's a lot much better in my opinion. Only got 1 overpen because Nevsky, I guess. But obviously, Nevsky trying to farm me there, but I'm gonna be just fine. I mean, Petro is not really going to take a lot of fire damage since it's just a very short duration. So Nevsky, whatever he tries to do, I mean, he can set 2 fires, sure, but other than that, I don't see he might be able to do anything. In this case, obviously, I distribute fire, 2 fires, obviously, you could easily damage control that, and just expect a bit that he won't set fire again. So there is exactly that. And that North Carolina, that is almost dead. I thought that I might be able to shoot him, but actually he's dead, so I don't need to really care about him. I mean, it was actually the winning moment, but then obviously North Carolina, enemy North Carolina killed a couple of ships and the game basically stagnated a bit. But hopefully, I thought at that time, okay, we will be able to win, but I have to do something. If I push, and this Conqueror definitely not looking to survive, I think. Hopefully he will survive. I don't know at that time that whether he will be or not, since he's pushing Venezia and Nevsky pretty hard. So that's a real problem. In this case, I'm just playing passively. I don't want to push. I mean, I should be pushing right now. I mean, that was a bit of a very safe decision that I've taken. But I think you should be really pushing, at least in this situation, your Petro hard. Because Conqueror might need me here. And it's not going to be that I might be very vulnerable since my hull is very tanky. So, I mean, you have to play aggressive if you want to do well in Petro, but obviously you have to find broadsides as well at the same time. So it really depends how you will make decisions to get to the situation which will save favors you to get a lot of damage and good game at the end. So that's what I am exactly doing in Petro, and trying to push from the HI-89 line, like trying to go around the flank, and maybe I can able to get the broadside. And in this case, I think the Venezia is not broadsiding, unfortunately. I think he just able to angle a bit because of the Conqueror. And I mean, Conqueror is basically super healing stuff and all that, so it's gonna be really hard that they can able to do anything. And Venezia finally got dead by Republic. Republic got a Citadel, which basically makes our life easier. And the game is almost going to end. And it's a Nevsky that is surviving, and he's just trying to farm damage, I would say. So the game is going to be over, and it is over. So Petropavlovsk is an amazing ship. It is a really good ship, even without legendary mod. But once you put the legendary mod, this ship becomes a pocket Stalingrad, but not having that weaknesses of Stalingrad. Even though it does not going to have overmatch like it can do with the Minotaur, like against Minotaur, Smolensk, and Colbert, but surely it's still going to be a lot more consistent, and that's why I would recommend to buy the legendary mod. It's worth it. It's really strong. Petro is too powerful. With Kuznetsov, it becomes even more absurd. And so yeah, that's it for the game. Got a couple of achievements. Team score wise, 1.9k base XP, easy, top on the leaderboard. Detail report wise, did some damage to basically all the ships out there. Also did good damage to gearing, as you can able to see. Yodo Venezia did some damage to a couple of ships out there, and so you can able to see that this is a really good Petropavlovsk gameplay. It's not 200k damage, but it shows the strengths and weaknesses at the same time, and you can able to play Petropavlovsk really well, and even better once you have legendary mod upgrade. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you into the next one. Peace out.